Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jurassic World.
Hello everyone, and thank you so much for having us here, Cup of Noodle. We are the Jurassic World Evolution 2 dev team. My name is Tim Smith, I'm the lead community manager here, and I have Rich Newbold, the game director for Jurassic World Evolution 2. So as we mentioned, we're going to be having a look at the chat, look for a couple of your questions, and see what we can answer for you there while we have a look for those first questions. Rich, would you like to tell us a little bit about the game and what's on screen?
So this is Jurassic World Evolution 2, a dinosaur park management game that is out on Tuesday, 9th November, it's this Tuesday coming. And this is an exclusive first look at the Jurassic World level from our Chaos Theory mode, which is a mode that allows players to experience kind of what-if scenarios from the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films. And what you're seeing is from the Jurassic World level. Adam Woods, our executive producer, who's off-screen, is playing the game for us, and he's been building Jurassic World. He's been working alongside Simon Masrani and Claire Deering in bringing Jurassic World to life. He's halfway through the level now, and he's been working really hard and kind of creating those iconic moments from Jurassic World, such as the lagoon. So he's been working really hard. Now he's very close to releasing a Mosasaurus soon as well. So
that's pretty amazing. Yeah. So first question I'm finding in the chat is from Rational Comb. Would you want to live with dinosaurs? I'm going to take that as we're living with dinosaurs in the world, not in your house. Or both.
Both. I think dinosaurs in the world, it'd be great. I think it'd be amazing. It'd
be incredible.
Like just being able to go to a wildlife park and just being like, oh, there's a brachiosaur. How cool would that?
I'd be a sucker for those like the petting zoos for the little baby like stegoes and everything. I just spend my life there. I would absolutely.
If I was to live with a dinosaur, I don't think I would. I'm not really a pet guy.
No?
So not even like normal animals, but even dinosaurs would be way too much for me. I think I'd be too worried that something so precious is mine.
I think I'd probably go for the pet. I mean, that sounds like dogs and cats I love too. So why not getting an Amargasaurus, for example?
Yeah, maybe, but that Brachiosaurus out in your back garden, just chilling at night, that'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe it would be pretty good. All right, next question from Officer Melanin. Do the dinosaurs get loose, or do they stay in the park?
Well, that's a key part of the game itself and the franchise is it's about managing these dinosaurs and making sure that they're happy and comfortable in enclosures. So you're going to make sure that all their comfort needs are met, make sure they've got food and water and kept inside those fences. But as they do in the film, things will go wrong. If they're not happy,
a little bit of chaos in there, right?
Bit of chaos. So things are going to go wrong. They're going to try and escape, and some of them will escape. They'll smash through your fences, climb over them, and start creating havoc in your park. And then it's on you to use your capture teams and your ranger teams to get them under control and then put them back in their enclosure and make sure they're happy. Because if they're eating your guests, your dinosaur theme park's not going to make much money.
No, I don't think so.
So they will.
Entirely fair. Yeah. We've got a question from Voralek. How long would you spend playing the game? It looks like you could spend hours. I mean, we literally have, I think both of us, hours playing the game. So that's an easy one.
There's so many different game modes we have for you as players. So we have 4 different game modes. We have our campaign mode, which is our original narrative, which is set after the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So you can follow along with characters from the film, follow an original story, kind of dealing with dinosaurs that are now out in the wild in America and kind of dealing with that situation. We also have sandbox mode, which is a full creative mode where you can build the park of your dreams, turn off dinosaurs escaping if you want, and just concentrate on building something that's nice and visual. And we have our chaos theory mode that Adam is working through now, where you go through the different films, build Jurassic Park, build Jurassic World, experience those kind of key moments from the movies. And then we have challenge mode, which I've ended on because that's my favourite mode.
It's your favourite one?
It's my favourite one, where we give you different levels and each one has different restrictions and different difficulty levels. So the idea is that you might you're trying to build a 5-star park, so trying to build a park that has 5 stars, so it's got lots of dinosaurs, it's making lots of money and is really popular. But you might have a level where you're not allowed to build carnivores, you're only allowed to build herbivores. And as the difficulty levels go up, we're going to make things harder for you. There might be more storms, the staff that you hire in your parks might cost more, research costs might be changed. So that's my favourite mode, because each time I play it a different way, trying to get to those 5 stars, trying to figure out the right way to maximise the money that I have and make sure I'm kind of researching the right genomes and putting the right dinosaurs in. So that's the mode that I've put in a lot of hours. It's because each time it's also different. I was trying to build different parks each time. So.
But a whole bunch of stuff there that you can do. So absolutely. I'm going to go through a couple of the less questions, more comments.
Okay.
I mean, because they're awesome. So there's like Slinky LOL saying like pet dinosaurs, they worked for the Flintstones. So
that is true.
That's very true. But then you've got the other side of it, where you've got, maybe I'd be scared to leave my house every morning if there were dinosaurs in the world. What if you
just on your commute, you just
got a Dimorphodon just floats on by?
I'm stuck on the A14 because there's a pack of velociraptors.
Yeah, so you probably have like a forecast for it, I'd imagine, for like the roaming. You've got to be winding out. It's you can't make it to work today. The Brachiosauruses are too many. We've got to divert them down the M4, just something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
As another comment from Rational Comb saying that they love all the different modes, and a lot of people just shouting chaos. Love to see it. I mean, we always love to see a little bit of chaos. While I find a few more questions in here from the chat, we could always have a little natter about what is going on here. Shout out for Adam Woods, who is playing the game live for us at the moment as well, of course.
I love Adam.
We love Adam.
Adam is our executive producer, and he's great. And he's currently driving his ranger team across the park. So it looks like he's got some broken fences. So it looks like either dinosaurs tried to escape, or there's been a storm that's come in and damaged those fences. So he's using the ranger team to get over there and fix those fences so that they're not going to escape. So it's not just about making sure that your dinosaurs are comfortable in their habitats and make sure they've got the needs, but make sure that your park is functioning as well. So yeah,
it actually fits nicely with a question from Psalms 27. When does the chaos come into play? Glad you asked.
The whole point of the chaos is that you don't know. No, so we have a few different calamities that you're going to be dealing with. So one of them might be storms. So occasionally you will get notified that there's possibly a hurricane coming in certain levels. And we have different environments, and they have different calamities, different storms. So you might have a sandstorm in a desert level, a hurricane in the tropical level, and that's going to come in and damage your buildings, affect your dinosaurs' comfort, and kind of give you lots of different challenges for you to deal with as a park manager. We also have a staff system, so you'll be hiring scientists to research and find dig sites and get those genomes for your dinosaurs. But if they're not happy, they're overworked, they become disgruntled, and there might be an opportunity for them to take advantage of. Well, they might sabotage your park, so you have to make sure that they're happy as well. So there's lots of different things that you and the player will have to deal with on the chaos side, but in its nature is that you just don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. But we try and balance it. Obviously, it is a dinosaur theme park. Management game is about making sure they're happy, and we put these moments in to challenge yourself, because that's a key part of the film. It's the hubris of people trying to control these dinosaurs. The hubris of humanity. We can control these things, and as we've seen in Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World movies, that you just can't. These things should be free and they should be out. So Something will inevitably go wrong.
It always does.
It'll just see how well you're at managing it when it happens.
Got a few comments of people enjoying the driving, enjoying the flying as well. So yeah, you can absolutely take control of your ranger teams directly. You can give them instructions, or you can get the job done yourself.
Yeah, it's for different types of player. If you're wanting to be more of the executive management, as it were, if you're going to be if you like being in this kind of top-down view and you just want to assign your capture teams and your ranger teams, you can do that. But if you like being up close, and you can then directly control those teams and deal with the problem yourself. So it's all about how you want to play the game, but also the situation. If Adam had a lot of things happening in one part of his park, he might just want to send his teams over there and deal with making sure his T-Rex is happy in a different part. That gives you an opportunity to deal with the problem however you choose fit. I mean, you're going to be aiming at dinosaurs a lot better than the computer will. So you might be, if you've got a T-Rex on the loose, you want to get in there quicker, make sure it's tranquilized and put back in its enclosure quicker than the computer might do. So.
Absolutely. We've got I'm just watching a couple of people saying this sounds amazing, that's dope, it's awesome. Oh snap, as some of the comments in there as well. So that's pretty amazing. I did see one a little further up. I didn't see who asked it, so I do apologize for that. Asking about the new features, and I think we've gone over a couple of those.
Yep.
But one of those giant ones as well is, of course, having, well, Adam's kind of doing it now. There's some customization there. There's the marine reptiles in there as well.
So we've got 3 different types of prehistoric species. They're not all dinosaurs. We have our land dinosaurs, we have marine reptiles and flying reptiles in Jurassic World Evolution 2. So you're going to be creating 3 different types of species. And what Adam's doing on screen is he's working on a lot of the creativity that we've added in the sequel as well. So now you can customize the architecture and the color of your shops, your amenities. So as well as figuring out what they're going to be selling, making sure that you're catering to the different guest interest groups that we have now in the park. So we have different types of guests. So we have standard, adrenaline, nature, and VIPs, making sure that they have the different types of food available to them, that certain interest groups might want certain types of food. And then making sure that your architecture matches that as well. Your architecture is pretty as well. So Adam's
getting a little barbecue grill out in there. Yeah. It's always good. We've got a question from Kogath. This is a pretty good one. For your aquatics, for your marine reptiles, how do you look after them? You can't. I mean, you could. I wouldn't recommend putting a ranger in the water. So that's maybe not the best move, but how do you do it?
With the marine reptiles, it's making sure that they have enough space in their lagoons. So things like the mosasaur will need a lot of space, and if they're not happy, they're going to and make sure they've got food as well. Make sure they've got food sources, whether it's a fish feeder or the shark feeder. So our mosasaur will eats a lot of food because it's huge. So it would need something like the shark feeder, and then we have our fish feeders for the smaller marine reptiles. So there's a smaller amount of food source it needs. But if they're not happy in these enclosures, whether it's the land dinosaurs, the marine reptiles, or the flying reptiles, some of them will try to escape. So our flying and land dinosaurs will try and escape their enclosures, but they will all start to get sick, or they'll injure themselves.
Much like all of us.
Yeah,
if we don't make sure that we're looking after ourselves, like
you're going to start feeling sick. So then you as a player have to help deal with that problem. So you're going to be tranquilizing and then moving your dinosaurs into our paleomedical facility and curing them of any illnesses as well, and then putting them back into their enclosures once they're happier.
And like in some of these comments on the customization, it's like, I can make an Olive Garden, I can add a Starbucks to my dinosaur park. It's awesome. We've got a question from Fluffy Nutmeg. Are there in-game challenges? There's certainly challenge mode.
Yes, in the way that we have challenge mode, and each one have those different levels and restrictions. And then inside that mode as well, we have a thing called contracts. So as you're playing the level, the game will present you with an opportunity to take a contract. So it might be increase the amount of dinosaur genome of a certain dinosaur. It might be earn a certain amount in the next month financially. So we're going to give you these opportunities to complete contracts, and if you complete a contract, you're going to earn a lot more money quickly, which is really good for.
We're going to need that for those dinosaurs.
Making dinosaurs ain't cheap. It's not cheap, so you're going to need that money. Obviously, Adam has earned a lot of money, but he's also spent a lot of money making Jurassic World and keeping his scientists paid and happy.
Yep.
And that's how you'll kind of move forward, completing these contracts, earning that income and completing those. And each contract, and that's why I like challenge mode, the contracts give me a bit of purpose in that mode. It kind of pushes me towards researching a different dinosaur that maybe I wouldn't have before. Now I'm researching a Dilophosaurus that normally I wouldn't have, so I use the contracts to help kind of nudge me in different ways of playing the game.
Brilliant. So I'm just reading the chat. I'm having a great time. So can't blame me, can you? Slinky LOL is asking, is it a solo player or a multiplayer game? So actually, it's a single player game.
It's a single player game.
Yeah.
There's no multiplayer, but we find it a great experience just watching how other people have been building their parks, taking advice on a good way of finding dinosaurs that can cohabit together. So not all of our land dinosaurs can mix together. Obviously, you don't want to put your T-Rexes with your smaller herbivores. They're not going to be friends. I mean, that's going to end up in badness. One of them.
You could.
You could? No, you can.
Could.
But I won't suggest it. Unless you're wanting to sacrifice them
as a park manager, source.
Yes.
I couldn't recommend losing your very expensive dinosaurs.
But what you can do is find ways of maximizing the space available to you in enclosures. So some of the enclosures will only have a certain amount of real estate, as it were. You've only got so much space. So figuring out the number and the combination of different dinosaurs in those enclosures that will cohabit together is a great way of learning from how other people are building their parks, of maximizing that 2D kind of landscape in your parks to earn as much money as possible and make your park as good as possible.
So we had a couple of questions come up a few times on, is this the only map or are there more? So there are more.
There are more. So this is our Jurassic World map in Chaos Theory mode. In the campaign mode, we have a number of different maps. We have different challenge mode maps that are built specifically for challenge mode. And we have different levels in Chaos Theory mode for each of the films as well. So our challenge mode maps and our Chaos Theory maps, this one in particular is quite a much bigger map because it's focused on building these much larger theme parks. Whilst we have some of the challenge maps might be a bit smaller as well. So we've kind of catered the maps to the experience that the player is going to be facing, but there are different types of maps. So we have multiple different environments in the game. So across all of the modes, you're going to be in a desert environment, there's taiga environments, temperate and tropical. Obviously the tropical ones are the iconic islands that we've seen in the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies. But now, after the events of the film, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, dinosaurs now out in the wild, we've now moved the environments away from the tropical islands and gone to new areas.
Whole new world.
Evolved.
Had to get that one in there. A couple of questions I can answer real quickly, asking about when can people play the game? November 9th. So that's Tuesday next week. You'll be able to play Jurassic World Evolution 2. Someone asking about things like movie structures. I know we've got, for example, the arena is very, very cool. We had a couple streams with good friends Jeff and Jesse, and you'll be able to see in those where you've got the San Diego Arena, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
But I'm blasting through those questions because I want to get to this one for you.
Okay.
Would you rather fight one small herbivore-sized T-Rex or 100 T-Rex-sized small herbivores? So 100 teeny tiny, like let's say like little Gallimimus size, maybe even smaller.
Yeah, okay.
T-Rexes, or like one giant. One small herbivore-sized T-Rex.
Yeah.
Or 100 T-Rex-sized herbivores.
Definitely the small T-Rex.
Smaller T-Rex.
Oh yeah.
Okay, show your work. This one.
Because numbers in a fight is going to overwhelm you always over a one-on-one.
Okay, so you reckon you'd have pretty good odds against the smaller T-Rex?
So the T-Rex is only terrifying because it's huge,
size,
and it also has weaknesses of being so big. It can only this got small arms.
What if it gets faster as it gets smaller?
That wasn't the question.
I'm just adding things on. I want to know, so I'm just adding things on.
As the question as is, I would take the smaller T-Rex. I would take it.
You take it. You take it on. So that's going to be the grudge match of our time, is Rich versus the smaller T-Rex. Someone asking about pre-ordering the game as Simply Just a Gamer was saying that they've pre-ordered the game for the physical edition for home delivery. So that is fantastic. Thank you very, very much. You should receive it on November 9th. Absolutely, that's the plan on that one. We have another question on, do the dinosaurs respond differently to different maps and environments? They've certainly got things that they don't like about some of it.
Yeah, so what we do is the dinosaurs will have different will have different diseases or reactions to the different storms that might come into your park. So in the desert map, if there's a sandstorm that comes in, that might affect your dinosaurs in a different way to, say, the snowstorm in the taiga environment. So in a snowstorm in the taiga environment, dinosaurs getting things like frostbite. So they might get disease or injuries in that case that you then have to handle as a park manager and kind of, as I say, transfer them to the paleomedical facility, make sure they're cured, make sure they're happy, and then put them back in their enclosures. So that's one way that the dinosaurs react in different environments.
Brilliant. I've got a question from Maxine the Fury 64, or it might have been something else then, but that's okay. Will the game come out at a different time depending on the time zone? So I can field that one. You could field that one.
I'm going to try it.
Okay. We're going to put the heat here on.
It comes out at 2 o'clock GMT on Tuesday the 9th of November, and then depending on the time zone you're in at that time, that's when it will come out. I believe that is right.
2 p.m. GMT and then corresponding times. That is correct. Very nicely done. So I think we're going to look for one more question before we throw it back to Cup and Noodle. I'm just going to have a quick look through the chat and see what we can find in there. There was a question, there we go, about if you've got your pterosaurs, you've got your flyers, how does that work if one escapes? How does that work with tranquilizing and transporting them back? Like, what do you do there?
Again, it's a very similar problem to your land dinosaurs. They're going to be flying in your park, causing mayhem, attacking your guests. So it's going to be on you to get your capture teams and tranquilize them. So you can use the management mode and kind of assign a task for your capture team to try and tranquilize one of your pteranodons or your flying reptiles, or you can take control yourself and do it. But once it's tranquilized, you then have to transfer it back into your aviary if it's escaped, but you need to make sure that you fix that hole in the aviary dome first.
Otherwise, just leave again straight away.
So
imagine that, you pop them back in and they're just like, well, the exit's right there.
You left the door open again.
You always left the door open, you let the cat out.
Yeah,
this is the problem with having pets as dinosaurs. They're going to get out.
So I'm not a pet guy.
Yeah, because you left the door open and you let the tyrannosaurs out. Brilliant. So I think that's all we've got time for here today, but we want to say thank you very much for having us on the weekly show. And again, we're from Jurassic World Evolution 2, which is releasing on November 9th. So that is Tuesday next week. Please, if you do pick up a copy, then you can come join our wonderful community. But for now, I think we're going to throw it right back to Cup and Noodle and say thank you for having us very much once again.